began, like many others, back many years ago, back in 2016. And the local church decided to actually issue a request for proposals. And so we were one of several developers that proposed, submitted our qualifications and our proposal in terms of concept plan of what could be developed here on the church site. And ultimately, Blessed Sacrament Church and the diocese selected National Corps to be their developer partner. I think for a couple of reasons. We are a nonprofit. We are a local community-based affordable housing developer. We've been doing this for over 30 years, and we're vertically integrated. So we're a developer. We also build all of our apartment communities, and we manage them. And in fact, a property manager lives on site here at Santa Angelina. And then our Hope Through Housing Foundation is our supportive services arm. So we provide services at every one of our properties. We tailor those services to the needs of our residents. So here at Santa Angelina, our residents are seniors, age 62 and older, to qualify to live here. And so we focus our services on health and wellness. Nutrition, exercise classes, you name it, and so that's an important part of it. We've completed 5 affordable housing communities in partnerships with our faith-based community, and we have several more that we're working on in our pipeline. Let's start with the why. So we touched on this a little bit. Why have these projects been so successful? And I truly believe it's because of our shared mission. Our missions are aligned with our faith-based community to serve those that are most vulnerable. And for our faith-based partners, they're often have been embedded in the community and are trusted community partners for many, many years, decades. Even United Methodist Church has been there for 100 years. Right, and this is a way for them to continue serving the community in an expanded way by providing housing for our most vulnerable. So I think having that shared mission has made our projects most successful. Roger touched a little bit about the underutilized land and how that helped revitalize the neighborhood. So that was also the case here. Where the 2 residential buildings are on the property was really just open, vacant space. This time of year, green grass, but for most of the time of year, was dead grass and weeds, and they were also getting some homeless, populations that were starting encampments and such, so always having to clean it up. And so this was a way that not only revitalized the church campus, but this was a multi-million-dollar investment into the neighborhood. And one of the concerns we heard from the neighbors is, well, this is going to devalue, our property values are going to decline. And we actually conducted a study to prove to them, no, that is not the case. When you have a multi-million-dollar investment like this in your neighborhood, it actually raises property values. Another reason why, and we've touched on this a little bit, is first, you have your shared mission, but this is also an opportunity for our faith-based community to receive revenue. Many of our church partners are seeing a decline in their congregational numbers, and it's becoming challenging for them to maintain their properties and their buildings. And so this is also a way to add revenue, and it can be structured many ways. If you're selling the land, you can get that lump sum payment. In this case, we entered into a long-term ground lease with the Episcopal Diocese, and the church receives an annual lease payment towards, so that's a sustainable revenue stream. But we can structure it, any way possible, upfront payment, annual payments, really to meet the needs of the church. Another reason why it is for our local communities is that we help advance their local regional housing needs allocation that they're assigned from the state. And so a lot of times that's when your local jurisdiction is going to get on board and say, yes, let's do this. And then we talked, today the topic is around Senate Bill 4, although all 3 case studies, we did not use Senate Bill 4 because these projects predated it. But now we have that tool, right? Senate Bill 4 is a tool that allows by right development on land that's owned by faith-based organizations, and that will streamline the process, and it has many benefits. So I want to talk specifically about Santa Angelina, and I will say we will be giving property tours during lunch, so you'll be able to see for yourselves, what I'm going to present. In terms of the site context, so one thing to think about is when you reach out to any developers, one of the first things they're going to do is do a desktop analysis in terms of, okay, where is it located? Well, with this site, when we came out here, it's an ideal location for affordable housing, primarily because of its proximity to amenities. So in order to finance affordable housing, you need to meet a minimum amenity score, meaning how close is that property to medical facilities? How close is that property to a grocery store? To if it's a family property, to your schools, transit, etc. So this site, if you had a chance, while you're driving here, ideal location because we've got transit running along Kramer, as well as the cross street, right, Boulevard, and it has a walk score of 80. Which in Southern California, that's pretty good, meaning that it's very walkable. Most errands can be done by foot, right? We've got the post office across the street, as well as all this commercial grocery store, the local Starbucks, whatnot, just right here, as well as medical facilities. So this was an ideal location for affordable housing for our residents in terms of their access to amenities, but also to finance the project as well. The entire campus is about 3.7 acres. We maintained the church in the center of the site, where this is a brand new facility in terms of the parish hall. So the existing parish hall actually was oriented more this way, northwest. It's now east-west. We needed to demolish the parish hall in order to accommodate the two residential buildings. Building 2 was infilled into the parking lot, the surface parking lot. Building 1 is right here. Parish hall knocked down, rebuilt and reoriented to be able to infill the two residential buildings that are homes to our seniors. We maintain the Children's Learning Center, which is right back here, as well as the playground and classrooms. So it's 65 apartment homes, 100% affordable to our seniors, earning less than 60% of the area median income. 21 of the 65 units are set aside for our seniors that are experiencing homelessness or are at risk of being homeless. So talk about the entitlements. So it took us about 2.5 years to get through the entitlement process here within the city. And again, this predates Senate Bill 4. So we had to go through, the site was not zoned for multifamily housing. So we had to go through a general plan amendment, as well as a zone change, and a California Environmental Quality Act, as well as the federal equivalent of that. So 2.5 years. I estimate if we had the tool at the time, if we would have utilized Senate Bill 4, we likely would have gotten through the process in, I estimate, 6 to 9 months. So that would have been, an ideal tool to use. We have that tool in our toolbox moving forward. We may not use it on all church projects. It really depends on a number of factors, including financing. But it is a good tool to have in our toolbox. Multiple stakeholders. So both case studies, we touched on this, is that, can you please everyone? There is going to be trade-offs that need to be made. And this starts with the outreach and getting everyone on board here with starting up, within the church there is a government structure as well. So we start within the church government structure. The diocese at the head that owns the land. Then you have your church vestry, which was the local governing board, as well as the congregational members. So there was a process that we had to go through, starting with the diocese to get approval, right, to develop on the local church site, and then just working with the church to come up with the vision and the concept and the design, and get them support community especially, right? And you start to outreach to the city as well as the neighbors. So then there's also getting through the city process. And I'll tell you here, within the neighbors, when we first introduced the concept of a senior apartment home community here, we got a lot of pushback. And so that's part of the timeline too, is we had a robust, multi-tiered outreach program. I mean, this doesn't even list all the meetings that we had, not only here at the church, but Father Barrett and I went door to door and knocked and had one-on-one conversations. We invited the neighborhood to share meals with us here in the parish hall, to present the project, get feedback, have them ask questions. And what you'll see is, over time, so starting in 2017 and where we ended up today, we actually took that feedback from the church congregation, from the city, from the neighbors, and so the site plan adapted and evolved to where it was today. But here's an aerial view. Now that it's been built, everybody is just so happy with the product and the improvements that it's made to the neighborhood. We really haven't heard, anybody that's not in support of the project now. So I'm going to leave with best practices. Again, it starts with that shared mission of why are you doing this? Is it, and defining those mutual goals early. So this aligns with exactly what Roger was saying is, establish that vision, align your goals early, be transparent, both sides with your partnership, and document all the decisions that are made, because it is going to be a long process and things change, and the vestry changes, membership of the vestry changes, and so you do need to have everything documented. I'd also suggest having one point of contact, but also establishing a committee within your church. So our one point of contact during construction was Tom, right? We also, during the planning and entitlement process, and throughout, we worked also with Reverend Michael Bell as our point of contact. Blessed Sacrament Church also established a subcommittee. So they were very much involved in designing the parish hall, the kitchen space, every aspect of this. And that's helped guide the process. So I would highly recommend doing that, as well as the multi-tiered community engagement program, starting internally within the church, within the congregation, and then out towards the neighborhood and the city, and going from there.